I want to share with you an absolutely incredible yesod, an incredible idea I saw in Rav Druk's Sefer Ish Tamid on the Parsha. And he's commenting on the pasuk which says, "Vayavo hapalit." There was somebody who escaped and comes to Avram Avinu and tells him about what happens with Lot. And Rashi comments, "Vayavo hapalit lefi pshuto ze og shepalat min hamilchama." It's referring to Og who escaped from the war. Umedrash ze og shepalat midor hamabul. It was Og who had escaped not just from the war but from the Mabul survived. Umiskaven sheharag Avram v'yisa esara. Why was it that Og told Avram what happened with Lot? He wanted Avram to go out to fight in order to rescue Lot and to be killed because he didn't think there was any way Avram would be able to withstand the battle and then he would be able to marry Sarah. Chazal tell us that because of this that he did in escaping and telling Avram about what happened with Lot, he was zoche, married at Arichus Yomim Vishanim. So much so that we find later that when it came to the Milchama of Yisrael against Og, the war, Moshe Rabbeinu was scared about the zechus that he might have. That the Medrash tells us that he had saved Lot and gone to Avram Avinu, that would be a merit for him. And the question is, if the Medrash is telling us is accurate, that he did it shelo l'shem shamayim, he did it with ill intent. He was trying to get Avram killed so he could marry Sarah. Why is it that he's rewarded? Why is it that Moshe Rabbeinu is so scared? And Rav Druk explains and suggests that there is a fundamental difference between mitzvos bein adam lamakom and mitzvos bein adam lachavero, mitzvos between us and Hashem, and interpersonal mitzvos. And when it comes to a mitzvah between us and Hashem, the ikar, the main thing is what is our kavanah, what is in our heart, what is our intent. And that defines the action, which is why the Gemara can tell us in Maseches Hariyos that there's a concept of an avera lishma, gadola avera lishma, that there are times, again, it's not something we can apply on our own, an avera done for the right reason can still be counted as a positive. When it comes to Yael, Eshes Chever HaKeni, and what she did to save the Jewish people from Sisera, we praise her more than the Imals, more than Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, and Leah. But she went against the normative rules of tznius that we wouldn't expect her to. So why is it? Because her kavanah was l'shem shamayim. Her kavanah was l'shem shamayim. When it comes to mitzvos between us and Hashem, rachamona liba boi. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants our hearts, and our intent is critical to our performance of the mitzvah. But he suggests that what we see is that when it comes to interpersonal mitzvos, when it comes to mitzvos between Adam and Chavero, it's not about the kavanah. And that's why you could have the Gemara Psachim tells Hanosem Pruta, Al Menashe Yichna B'ni, if somebody gives money to tzedakah, only on condition that his child should live, Harezet Tzaddik Gomer. He's a complete tzaddik. The question is, why should that be true? And the answer is because in the end, I'm giving tzedakah. It doesn't matter that I have an ulterior motive. Is another Jew helped? Yes. That is what is critical. And similarly, in the opposite direction, the Gemara Baba Basra and Daf Tezayin tells us about Penina and Chana. That Penina was mitzair. She caused pain to Chana, that she didn't have any children. And her kavanah was l'shem shamayim. She wanted her to engage in tefillah, but she got punished for it. Why? Because it's a mitzvah it's something which is between people. And between people, even if you have a good intention, if the outcome was negative, that is what we look at. And the same thing when it comes to Eshes Potifar. Chazal tell us that she saw that in the future, I'm going to have descendants of Yosef. She's acting l'shem shamayim. But that wasn't what you're supposed to be doing. And therefore, when it comes to being Adam Lechavero, we look at the action that you are doing. Why should that be? Why should that be? Hashem knows the intention. And the answer is that the mitzvos that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us have different purposes. And the mitzvos being Adam Lamakom have one realm of how we relate to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And He wants us to be meshabed our hearts to Him. But when it comes to other people, it's about our relationships with them. And sometimes we have the best of intentions, but we execute poorly, and the person is still hurt. And when it comes to a mitzvah, that's a problem. And sometimes we might not have the best of intentions, but the other person was helped. That is the ikar. And that is what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants from us. And that is what the Yesod of Og is all about. Og might have had the worst of intentions. But since he wanted, and since in the end he was able to help Lot, that was what it didn't matter what it was that he wanted. And that is this beautiful Yesod that he develops. And when it comes to our mitzvos, we have to think differently about our mitzvos, bein adam lamakom, bein adam lechavero. Yes, l'shem shemayim, and everything being l'shem shemayim, in both realms, that's the best. But when it comes to how we interact with other people, it's about a relationship between people. It's not about performing the mitzvah. It's not about turning that person into an object of a mitzvah. It's about trying to figure out how do we help one another. And that is in the end what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants. And if it's going to cause pain for somebody else, even if it's for the best of reasons, we need to think twice. We need to pause. That's the Yesod of Og. That the mitzvos bein adam l'chavero, bein adam l'makom, they're about completing our life and turning it into one whole unit. And that requires both aspects. It requires putting our hearts into it. But ultimately, when we're dealing with other people, it requires making sure that we treat other people in a way that is going to further that relationship, that is going to benefit those people. An unbelievable idea. Learn from this Yesod of Og, that Og was able to be rewarded because of what he did, even if there's wrong intentions. And that's really what counts. It's the actions that we do. If we can do it with the best of intentions, even better. But always looking to see how we can help, how we can draw one another closer to each other, and create the achdus that the mitzvos bein adam lechavero are all about.